Welcome to the AI for Career Success video overview by Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Today's analysis is based on the article Monoculture versus Fragmented Culture, written by Curt Robbins, and published on LinkedIn on January 10th, 2026. The core argument is that the fundamental ways we consume information have fractured, which in turn has rewritten the rules for effective professional communication. Now, to understand our current environment, we first need to define what has been lost. This concept is the monoculture. For much of the 20th century, this was the default, a shared experience fueled by moments everyone seemed to witness simultaneously. Think of the series finale of MASH, for instance, or a major nightly news broadcast. These were the so-called water cooler moments that gave us a common language and a shared set of cultural references. That landscape, of course, has been completely transformed. This comparison really highlights the scale of the shift. On the left, you have the monoculture, characterized by shared experiences. And on the right, our current fragmented reality, dominated by personalized feeds and niche communities. Centralized media has been displaced by a vast ecosystem of decentralized creators, and the entire notion of appointment viewing has been superseded by on-demand consumption. So, what precisely drove this monumental shift? It wasn't a single event, but rather a convergence of powerful forces. Let's examine the three primary engines behind this cultural fragmentation. The source material identifies three key drivers. First, the rise of algorithms that now function as the primary gatekeepers of information. Second, the isolating nature of the mobile screen itself. And third, the simple, overwhelming saturation of choice that defines our modern media environment. Let's begin with algorithms. Platforms like Google, Meta, and TikTok are no longer serving a single mass audience. Instead, their recommendation engines construct what the author terms reality tunnels for each user. These are hyper-personalized content streams designed for maximum engagement, which they achieve by reinforcing existing interests. A significant side effect of this is the filtering out of the generalist content that once served as our societal glue. The hardware we use has also played a pivotal role. You see, we've migrated from the communal television in the living room to the deeply personal smartphone. This is physically atomized media consumption. The idea of appointment viewing, where a household or even a community watched a program in sync, has been almost entirely replaced by solitary, on-demand viewing. And finally, we have to consider the sheer scale of the content available. The barrier to entry for broadcasting has effectively dropped to zero. To put this into perspective, just think about this number. There are over 115 million channels on YouTube. That's not individual videos, but distinct channels. And we see the same phenomenon in audio, with nearly 5 million podcasts available. In an environment of near infinite choice, human attention becomes a zero-sum game. Every minute an individual spends within a highly specific niche is a minute they are not spending with the broader universal content that once connected us all. This fragmentation isn't just an abstract cultural shift, it has direct and significant consequences, especially for professionals who need to communicate ideas broadly and effectively. The source outlines three core challenges communicators now face. First, the loss of a shared language. We can no longer assume an audience will understand a common cultural or news reference. Second is the fragmentation of trust, which has shifted away from large institutions and towards niche influencers and micro-communities. And the third is the rise of what's called algorithmic friction, which makes it exceedingly difficult to penetrate the echo chambers that form around specific interests. All of this leads to the central practical question. For anyone trying to market a product, build a brand, or simply share an idea, how do you adapt to this new and challenging reality? The solution proposed is not to simply try to shout louder than everyone else. Instead, the required strategic pivot is more fundamental. It's about completely rethinking what reach and success mean in this new landscape. Curt Robbins states it quite plainly in the article. The essential lesson is this: stop trying to be famous to everyone. Mass popularity is a relic of the 20th century. In other words, the very pursuit of broad, general acclaim has become an outdated strategy. So, if mass popularity is no longer a viable goal, what constitutes the new path to generating influence and creating value? The new paradigm is a complete inversion of the old one. It prioritizes depth over width. This quote from the article really encapsulates the key takeaway. Success is no longer about reaching 10 million people vaguely.
It is about reaching 10,000 people intensely. This is the new formula. In our fragmented culture, it is the targeted, specific, and deep connections that truly create value.
And that leaves us with a critical question for our own professional reflection. In this fragmented world, who are the 10,000 people that you need to reach intensely to achieve your goals? Thank you for watching this overview. This is where we teach you AI and help you get smarter than your competition. To continue staying ahead, please subscribe to the AI for Career Success YouTube channel. Liking this overview, leaving a comment, and sharing it with your network are greatly appreciated and help us reach a wider audience.